Barcelona have officially kicked off La Liga away to Mallorca, and I want to talk about the game. Because there were a few controversies, some things less controversial, but a lot happened in the game. A lot of it more in the first half than in the second half, but a lot happened. And it started in the 7th minute with Raphina getting on the end of a Lamine Yamal cross to head in the bottom corner. And the problem with that goal is that at some point, the problem is I don't remember when exactly this happened, but at some point in the phase of play, the ball went out of play. It went out of play for a throw-on, but the linesman missed it and VAR can't get involved for something like that, because I guess maybe they can because it was a goal, but maybe because it was so far behind in the play, they couldn't get involved because it wasn't really seen as the same phase of play. In a way, I don't know, the way VAR sometimes works with what it can get involved in and it can't is very weird, and even the things they do get involved in isn't always right, and the things they don't get involved in isn't always right, which actually will kind of lead into my second point. But yeah, it should have been out of play, but I don't remember exactly when the ball went out of play. But if the linesman misses it and VAR can't get involved, there's really not more you can say. So 1-0 Barcelona. Then the second goal happened, and this one is a bit more clear-cut. Like, this is where I stand on it. I don't think there was much of a problem, and the reason I don't think there was much of a problem is because of the player that went down. Because it reminded me of a situation it's very, very weird, but it reminded me of the situation in the Deontay Wilder-Tyson Fury fight all those years ago. I don't remember if it was the first fight or their second fight or which fight it was, but it was the fight in which Deontay Wilder looked like he had knocked Tyson Fury out. It looked like Fury was done. His head literally bounced off the canvas. And then in an interview or in a clip I saw at some point after the fight, the referee involved in the fight said, because he was asked, why did you not call the fight? Everyone saw what happened to Tyson. He was done. He collapsed. His head bounced off the mat. What stopped you from calling it? The referee said, because as soon as I went over Tyson Fury, his eyes focused on me. Because if someone's knocked out, their eyes are not picking up on you. Tyson Fury, straight away, his eyes flicked into my direction and he saw me. That's how I knew that he was still good and he wasn't knocked out and I could begin my count. And that decision was not only a phenomenal decision by that referee, but it literally changed the fight, because that could have been it. That could have been KO. I can't remember who even ended up winning that fight, but it could have been over and done there. It reminded me of this situation because the referee, if you go back and look at the clip, the referee is looking at the player and he's got his whistle in his mouth. He is ready to blow because the way the player falls, he falls flat on his face and his arms are spread out. Just like the Jude Bellingham celebration type thing. He's like that. He's on the floor like that. And the referee puts the whistle in his mouth and he's looking at him and he's just about to blow when this guy moves his hands and puts his hands on his head. And that's what I think the referee saw, and that it was that one little split moment movement that affected his choice in not blowing the whistle. Listen, the things the referees pick up on in games is mad. As much as we criticize them and we stick on referees, the things they pick up on and the things they see is ridiculous. And in a lot of ways goes beyond what we as fans look at or look for, at least in the initial phase of play. No, I'm not talking about replays because that's obviously completely different. But in the initial phase of play, the amount of things they see or look out for compared to us is mad. And I looked back at the clip and I literally saw this man put the whistle in his mouth, and the moment he saw him move his hands, he decided not to blow. No one heard the whistle. No one should have stopped playing. The injury did not occur from a collision. It occurred because the ball hit the player on the head. So I think the referee once again made a very, very good decision. I have no problems with that decision. Genuinely none. I think he done phenomenally, and I think he should be praised for being able to see and pick up on that one little instance and be able to make that judgment in that one little instance when the whistle's already in his mouth. It's already there, but he saw the hands move, he noticed the player's not knocked out, and he realised, I don't need to stop play here, I can let it develop. Which of course led to a great goal from Ferran Torres. Moving on to the first red card of the game from Muriqi, is that how you say his name? Literally no problems there. Literally no problems there again. Again, well done by VAR and well done by the referee. It was a straight red card. His literal studs hit Juan Garcia in the face. Like, that's a red card. There's literally nothing more to say about that. The problem, my first problem with this game, my first real problem with this game is Raphina's yellow card in minute 45, not even 45, it was like 52 or something. It was in added time in the first half. My issue is with that. And I'm not even going to argue whether it was a red card or yellow card. It was very, very high. His leg literally got the joint, literally where the knee cap is, the behind the kneecap. Raphina's leg literally hit that part of the Mallorca player and took his leg out. That it wasn't malicious. It wasn't dangerous. I mean, malicious is kind of debatable and everyone can kind of give their perspective. But to me, it didn't look malicious. It didn't look dangerous to an extent, but it could have been dangerous. It could have ended up being dangerous. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not too fussed about what it looked like or what it could have been. My main problem is VAR. My main issue is VAR. Why is VAR determining that isn't worthy of review from the referee? The referee is the man controlling this game. He is the guy on the pitch. I don't need VAR telling the referee, don't worry, everything's cool, play. I need the VAR saying, it's cool from our end, but you might want to check it out just to give your own green light to this. Because it's not a red card and we don't believe it's anything more than a yellow card, but we still think it's worth a look. That's all I want. That's all I need. If that happens, I've got no issues at all. I want the referee to be the one to determine there's no issues here. I don't want VAR to be the one determining this. And there is that whole problem of if VAR tells the referee to go to the screen and have a look, then they're kind of indirectly telling him there's more to this. There is that problem, but that's something they need to figure out and solve. That's something the RFEF and FA and everyone who has VAR and the governing bodies of football and the rule setters, they need to figure out and clarify that if I'm telling you to go to the screen as a VAR, that does not mean I want you to give a red card or change your decision. I just want you to be the one to make the final decision. So I personally just didn't like that part. Whether it was a red or wasn't, I don't know. I mean, if we go back last year when I can't even remember who Real Madrid were playing at Espanyol. We were away on the break. Mbappe got caught on the knee by studs. It was a very, very clear red card. That didn't go to VAR either and ended up being a yellow card. So if nothing else, they're very, very consistent with the dangerous or dangerous in quotation marks tackles that are as high as knees. Fast forwarding, not much to say about the second yellow card. It was pretty straightforward. It was a second yellow card. I want to focus on the third goal and I want to talk about Lamine Yamal. This guy is a problem. This guy is such a problem. I mean, he is so impressive and so good. It's ridiculous. And it just looks like somehow it looks like he is just getting better and better and better. And I not only think it's down to him, I want to give a special shout out to Hansi Flick and the Barcelona midfield and that team and their system. Because one thing I noticed about Vinicius Jr. and Real Madrid, especially a lot last year, more so than any other season, specifically last year, whenever Vinicius gets the ball, it happens in the past, so don't get me wrong, it's not only last year, but I want to focus on last year. Whenever Vinicius gets the ball on the left wing, he every single time has 2 or 3 players on him. It is very, very rare, or only once in a blue moon, that Vinicius Jr. gets to play a one-on-one. He gets to attack his fullback one-on-one. He's always having to run at 2 or 3 or 4 players. Always. It's always very congested, very cramped, and he is always having to do more than is required from a winger. Lamine Yamal and Barcelona, don't get me wrong, Lamine Yamal also has to go through 2 or 3 or 4 players. For his goal, he had to drop the shoulder and dummy 3 players. He also has to face 3 or 4 players or 2 players every now and then. But the way Barcelona play, the way the fullback overlaps, the way Raphina sometimes drops into right wing, the way the centre mids sometimes overlap, the way Ferran Torres as a striker sometimes comes down inside or makes a certain run. There are a lot of times in a game where Lamine Yamal finds himself one-on-one and he's able to exploit what he can do. And that I have to, for that fact, give a shout out to Hansi Flick more than anyone else, but just the Barcelona players for being able to execute what the manager wants from them. Because Lamine Yamal is very, very clearly and obviously Barcelona's best player. And what do you want to do for your best player? You want to put him in the best situations to give him the maximum chance to do his best. And that only happens if the team can isolate him in one-on-one situations or put him in dangerous places or pockets. Obviously, the players involved in this, don't take anything away from Lamine Yamal. I'm not saying he isn't a big factor in all this, but I'm just saying it helps a lot when the team and the manager provide the assistance that they are. But yeah, there's not much more to say. Like I said, I don't think it was too controversial a game. The 2 things I really have anything to say about is maybe the throw one not being called because the Lino missed it, and then the foul on Raphina not being reviewed by the referee. Besides that, Barcelona look just as good as they did last year. They don't seem to have missed a beat or lost a step. They look phenomenal, and I cannot wait for this season to develop further and see how we progress, because we already know what Barcelona's about. We know how good they are, and we already know that Lamine Yamal is not only one of the best players in the world, he's only going to get better because the guy is just 18. He literally just turned 18. But I'm very much looking forward to this season. But I'm going to call the video there. Thanks for watching, and peace.